Hi, and welcome to another episode of Voice on the Air, a video and audio podcast series brought to you by Voice at the Table. So, in each episode, we invite a guest to share on their knowledge, their experience, their expertise in their specialist area. We'll begin with a few introductions and then some discussion, and finally, some takeaway points that you can apply in your life. So, for today, we're going to talk about leadership. A quick introduction on what I do first. I'm Andrea James. I'm a decision-making trainer and consultant. I help executives to make more productive decisions. Coming from an analytical background, I realize that data is sometimes insufficient or there's too much uncertainty. So I help my clients work through their cognitive biases, look at storytelling and the role of all of these in decisions. For more information, go to my profile at voiceatthetable.com. So for today, we have a fantastic woman who has a wealth of experience as a leader. And so we're really privileged to have her share her knowledge with us. Let me introduce her. She is Amanda Cullen, and she's going to introduce herself, actually. So here she is now.
Hi, yes, I'm Amanda Cullen. I have a background of 30 years in the financial services sector. And about 3 years ago, I realized, probably more, 4 years ago, I realized that it wasn't what I wanted to spend the rest of my career doing. So one of the things I'd really enjoyed doing was coaching and bringing on people and managing people. And I realized that that's where I wanted to shift my focus. And so I retrained as a coach. And now what I do is work typically with people from management level up, helping them to become better leaders. I do that with individuals, and I also work with groups.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So one of the things that I've come across personally, especially in the last few years, is lots and lots of kind of BuzzFeed list style of things of this is the way a leader should be, or we see it in job descriptions, and we feel like we need to conform to a certain way that a leader should be. What is your take on this?
I think it's really unhelpful. One of the things that I experienced quite early on in my career was becoming a leader in an organization that, in this particular instance, was very male dominated and had a particular leadership style. And I was really grappling with, how do I bring the attributes that I have as a leader into this organization without becoming a clone of everybody else? Mm-hmm. And it's really clear to me that you can only truly be an effective leader if you adopt the style that suits you best. And that's not the style that is necessarily predominant in your organization.
Yeah, I had that experience. I was also in a very male-dominated environment, and there was almost either a charismatic or a very almost aggressive leadership style, and I felt that my sort of quiet, introspective ways were not valuable, were not wanted, and it made me kind of shrink down rather than saying, actually, there's a lot I can bring to the table with this. So yeah, I can definitely relate to what you're saying.
Yeah, and from my perspective, well, I'm definitely not quiet or introspective, so that's not my challenge. Mine is that the organisation I was in was very data oriented. So there was a lovely moment when the performance of the organisation dipped, and senior leadership sent around all these spreadsheets and data analysis and said, please analyse your data and come up with the answer as to why your team, your unit is underperforming. So all my colleagues were kind of delving into the detail and doing this cut and paste and analyse and whatever. And I just went back and I went, well, looking around the office, half the staff are on holiday. We have 2 people out on study leave. It's exam time. It's obvious in an organisation that is driven by billable time. It's blatantly obvious. I don't need to do lots of data analysis. I need to look at the people.
Well, one of the things is we hide behind data. I think when I was younger, that was the case. I felt because I thought I had to be a certain way, the data allowed me to just use that as my front, my personality, even though there was so much more. And actually, that's where my work has shifted to right now as well. I realized that there's tons of conversations that are missing in the leadership process, in the boardroom, or even just a meeting between a manager and staff.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that's really important is to recognise that there are actually lots of different types of leader out there. So, as I said, you can get sucked into thinking there is one way, only one way to do it. Mm-hmm. And actually, there very definitely isn't. I mean, if you look around some of the leaders that are out there, or have been out there in the past, so if we pick some of the names from history and you think of people like Hitler and Margaret Thatcher, maybe, there's some, Iron Lady type, warrior type, dictatorial type leaders. And then at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you've got people like Mother Teresa, who was definitely a leader, but a much calmer, more collaborative, quieter type of leadership, much more about building consensus. And actually, someone like Angela Merkel is much the same, again, somebody who builds consensus and collaborates rather than in a kind of warrior type way. So there are lots of different types. Then there are nurturing type leaders who bring people on by more of a paternal or maternal type approach. So there are lots of different styles out there, and it's just finding the one that suits you best.
Yes, and what, from your experience in building up your career, did you find particularly useful or stood out in developing your confidence in your style?
Intriguingly for me, it was coaching.
Oh.
For me, when I first got my first leadership role, and it was yay, in celebration, and then it was like, oh my goodness, I've now got to deliver on this. And I was having a chat with someone in our HR team, and I shared that with them, and I said, I'm really battling with how do I bring the benefits of my skills into this role? And she said, I think you should get yourself a coach. And for me, that was hugely beneficial, because there's one thing that many leaders suffer from, and it's loneliness. You move from being one of the crowds to being set apart from the crowd. And okay, there might be other leaders in the organisation, but we're very reluctant to show weakness with our peers once you get into positions of seniority. So for many people, it is about having some sort of other support. And it might be a coach, or it might be a mentor, or it might be a sponsor, or it might be just a close friend working in a different organisation who you feel able to be open with. But I would always recommend support, and obviously learning skills as well.
Yeah, support is something that is sadly neglected, or we feel like we need to be self-sufficient or strong enough. Somehow that is one of the things about being a leader. You suddenly have transformed into this being that can handle anything, and that is so far from the truth. So yeah, thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
So finally, just what are some three things that our listeners of yours can take away when they think about growing into their leadership role or thriving in their current one?
Okay, so the first and foremost is there is no right way to lead. And the second is you don't have to copy everyone else. So whatever the prevalent leadership style is that's around you, that doesn't have to be yours. And the third thing, which is a kind of confirmation of the other two, is you are way more effective when you lead in the style that suits you.
Great, thank you so much. So for more information about leadership and all the other things that we need to think about when we are in our new roles, please go to voiceatthetable.com, and you'll be able to get more than just this podcast. If you email Amanda at voiceatthetable.com, she will send you her ebook, which has so much more information about how you can grow into your position. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I would just love people to look around them and watch other leaders they admire and ask themselves, what is it they admire about that person? And is that something that they would like to bring into the way they lead themselves?
Well, thanks very much for joining us. Thank you, Amanda, as well, for all that you've shared with us. Till next time, we'll see you, and hope all the information has been helpful today. Thank you very much. It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Bye.